everyone. Well, we're out at a nice home out in the Lake Geneva area, and we're doing something we don't typically do. We usually put new gardens in, but we're actually renovating an older garden. So we're digging out the crew there, Scott and Jean and Gabino, Susie, Bob, and Isidro. So I got everybody out here, and we're digging out everything here. We're taking the plants, we're putting them in our first pile. We're not saving everything. We're not saving all the Monarda. There's way too much. Bob is digging out what we'll need to replant. And the rest of the Monarda we're going to kind of move to other job sites, or actually just put in the compost pile because there's way too much of it. It's the Didima. So it's cool. We first dig out the plants, we put them on this pile. And then I knock all the soil off. I'm doing the knocking the soil off and pulling out any rhizomes of quackgrass, and then moving into our pile for replanting. And this will be, you can see the echinacea, and it's a good opportunity to see the root systems of the plants. Hold on a minute. This is Echinacea purpurea, and you can see, look at that. See that? I missed that rhizome. It's a good thing I did this YouTube. I got to pull that out. That's a quackgrass root. I got to get that out of there. But you can see we trim everything back, and there's that nice fibrous root system of Echinacea purpurea. There's some Baptisia. This is Australis. You can see it's not that old, maybe 5-6 years old. There's the buds set for next year. And there's the roots. We chop the roots. We'll cut these back and plant the buds. And it should come up not quite as tall as this year, but it should be a strong plant next year, because it's actually the best time of year to do this. And again, we don't do many garden renovations because it's like rebuilding an old farmhouse. The reason you rebuild most old farmhouses is romance. You like the architecture, the structure, the history of the farmhouse. But by the time we get everything out and put everything back in, you could have purchased a 4.5-inch pot, and we could have done everything much quicker, actually. So, but there are a lot of good plants here, and I think saving them is a valuable direction to go. The whole staff did a great job digging out, and I have to say again, it was a good learning experience. Everybody here got to see the root structure and rhizomes of adult plants, other than what they see in a 1 gallon or a 4.5-inch container. They got to see the intermingling of the root systems together, experience dividing the plants, cutting them back, colors of root system. It's things a lot of people don't really think it matters, but it does matter to have that intimate feeling for plants. So we'll walk over, and this was our initial dig pile right here. Isidro sorting through it. So these are our remnants. Then we moved it to our cut back and clean pile. We have them labeled: the Monarda, the Echinaceas, the Amsonia, Persicaria, and over there we have Geranium macrorhizum, and Susie's dividing Allium Summer Beauty. We have Hemericalis already divided for replanting. And we may not use everything. When we look back at the garden, we might not use everything back in the kind of new composition, but it is a big area. And after we get the garden cleaned up and raked out, we'll start replanting. Well, we've cleaned out the garden and we've replanted everything. It's about 2 weeks later. So we put a group of Allium Summer Beauty in along the path. We're gonna have some intermingling with that this next spring. So we put some plants back in, created some simple patterns with the plants that they had. And what's left is Amsonia, Persicaria polymorpha, some geraniums. You'll see here Geranium macrorhizum, and again some groups of Amsonia and phlox. So we put those back in, and then as you can see right now, there's a majority of space is empty. And this winter we'll do the design work, and then in June we'll do the planting. We're to pre-grow everything in 4.5-inch pots for them so we can make it economical. So we'll have everything in 4.5-inch pots. We'll come back in June. We'll take care of any weed issues in April and May that may come back, make sure it's clean, and then do the replanting in early June. So it looks good. It was a lot of work. There was a lot here that got away from everybody. And we've got the Solidago out. It's still going to be a show up, but Solidago canadensis, but we'll just keep an eye on it. We'll be persistent about it. And then we'll get everything shaped up. So let's check in next year and see how the garden progresses. Bye, everybody.